Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in the world on, I think, the first nice and bright sunny day we've had around the house in quite some time, so get a good look because this might be the last one we see for a while, given that we are in very common rain territory. Anyway, folks, last time we dug out a good chunk of our basement. I almost said future basement, but it is now our current basement, and oh hello. Well, I guess Bert lives here now. Did you get down from above or something, Bert? Whatever. Anyway, yes, so we have a transmission room waiting for the transmission, so it's a room. Yep, it's a room. And then, of course, we have our cellar, and I have been busy making some meals with red meat, parsnip, and red apple. I wanted to use up our red apples just so we could have a sort of single set of stacks here. So we're going to have 3 stacks and change of pink apples, and we are pretty well set for a good little while. I also made a whole bunch of pies. We have 8 pink apple pies and 8 parsnip pies. I'm not really sure who in the right mind would eat a parsnip pie, but I mean, well, maybe we don't have taste buds. I don't really know. If you've ever had a parsnip before, well, you know what I mean. And the reason that I got all that meat was because I went back to our good buddy, the luxury goods trader down here. What's his name? Luxury trader. Okay, didn't put a name in. But they finally had something that we are looking for. That's right, they have the, they have the Forlorn Hope Greaves. The fancy pants. That's right, let's put these on. Look at that. They're pre-stressed. That's why they look like that. Yep, they're just pre-stressed. It's all the rage these days. All the kids are wearing them. Those Zoomers and the Flumers and the... It's a trend, trust me. I'm really trendy. Regardless, check out who's wearing the pants now. It's actually the armor stand because we're not going to wear them for a little while. So, yep. Anyway, in the last episode, we kind of set up a bit of a spot here to bring a transmission axle down into our house. And this episode, we are going to work on setting up a whole bunch of designs, probably not building all of them out, but maybe some of them. And that is so that we can come up here and start building out the spot where we're going to have our windmill. And looking at how this is laid out, it is looking to me like we might want to... I don't know. I'm going to have to sort of work on where I want to put these greenhouses because I want to have 4 7x7 greenhouses. I want the full-size greenhouses, and I don't know how that's all going to fit here. I guess we'll have to just try it and see. So, that is the plan. I say, let's get to it. Now, since we are doing some greenhouses, I think we should start with the glass we're going to need because I want to make sure we have enough, and I've been going through glass at a pretty surprising pace given that we haven't done what feel like a ton of windows. But let's get our bloomeries going on. Okay, with our glass currently processing, of course it could be done by now because it is morning, but while it is over there, I think we should get started on flattening out our roof and probably taking out a sort of nice level plane out to the approximate corners of where our house will be, which means like we want to do it over to here and over to there, as well as over where our library will be. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to use the current highest point in our build here, which I think would be this. So that means that we need to probably fill in most of this because we don't want things spawning here. which they will if we leave open spaces and there is a rift nearby. Let's do that. And then we need to cover up basically everything up to this height. So we're going to bring this up over here just so we can mark our corner. And then we'll do the same thing over here. So let's go ahead and we're going to start filling in this stuff here with these stacks of dirt. And I am thinking that I did not bring anywhere near enough dirt, but that's okay. We have plenty more down in our storage shed. So I'm going to get right to it. And I'll see all of you on the other side of this dirt placing job. Okay, look at this nice flat roof area we have to work with. Now, one thing I want to do is I don't want this to come out to the edges. So we don't want to have the greenhouses come out to here, because I would rather have this be sort of a nice gentle slope, as if we had sort of cut away part of the hill here. So in reality, we're probably going to have some kind of roof, like off of some of these outer structures here, that just kind of covers up maybe 2 to 3 blocks, kind of like we have over here, where this roof just sort of comes up to and meets the ground up here. And that's what I want to do for a good chunk of the roof all around. But I do want to have some variation, especially like on these corners, like the library might have an interesting different colored roof, and possibly over here with the bonus room that I haven't decided what to put here just yet. But here is where our axle needs to come down. Now we can, if we need to, bend this axle further. I would prefer not to, because every additional piece of distance or block of distance and every joint, I think, that you add to your transmission system will add a little bit of resistance to it, a little bit of drag. So you don't want to have a super duper long axle with a lot of curves if you can, or curves, angles. And so I want to avoid that if possible. But yeah, we have a lot of backyard space to work with. Now, if we come in here and let's say we had like a hallway system, so we have a bit of a walk space between the greenhouses, not just through them, we could do like a 3-wide hallway around this and have the axle kind of come down in the middle of it a little bit. Although I don't like that too much. Maybe the axle could come down on one side of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That would put our wall block here. That's not a problem, per se, but I'm not super duper fond of it. Let's maybe try something else. What if we did, instead a 2-block wide walkway, and we started it here, and we hid this inside the block. And that right here would be the division between our different greenhouses. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and right here would be the greenhouse wall. That would bring this out to here. And then we could have, let's see, we need you to be here. Ooh, that's a killer. That's a killer right there. How do we get around that issue? We could push this 1 block farther this way, but again, we're getting a little close. So I might start looking into other ways to lay out this upper floor here. And maybe these greenhouses won't just be in like a big square or quad. But let me take some time to think. I'm going to make it morning, although it is calm, so I might just keep working until it gets too dark to see or we get more rift activity. But I'll bring y'all back when I have a bit of a plan, a better plan, for how this will all shake out. Wish me luck. Alright folks, it is morning and I have had some time to think and design and plan. And I think we're going to have 3, not 4 greenhouses, because I really couldn't find a great way to place the 4th without it looking really awkward. So I think 3 will do, and 3 is fine, because That way we have the 3 for crop rotation. We have, N, P, and K, or in whatever order we want to do. And that should be plenty, especially in conjunction with the fields we already have here, and the ones that will expand probably over here in spring. But that is going to be the plan. So we'll have these 3. These are all 7 by 7 by 7, or 7 by 7 by probably 2.5. And then we'll have a hallway running down here. And this way we can have a straight shot across the house. So we currently have a hallway that runs from here across to here. We don't currently have a hallway that goes the opposite direction, or the orthogonal direction. So now we do. We'll have a hallway that goes across here, with a staircase here that goes down into what will be our little craft/living room. And these doors won't be here, but they're just here to keep drifters out for the moment. And yeah, I think that should work out pretty splendidly. Now, for what I want to do here is that at some point we're going to come through, and probably not today because I don't have enough shovels at the moment, but we'll come through and we're going to dig this back by probably at least 3 more blocks from here, and we will make it an approximately equal distance from the walls in all locations. So this will get a lot wider here at this corner, and also over here. And that will give us some room also to expand this out and turn this into like a blacksmithing area. Possibly kind of under the wall over here, or up against this wall. And that will give us some space to work under here and just have a place to sort of travel through and maybe plant some things that don't like light, like maybe mushrooms, I don't know. But what I wanted to do is I want to start getting an idea here for approximately where a staircase is going to go. It's not going to go here right now, and because of the expansion, like I said, it will get pushed back. But I just wanted to get it here so I know that this is the path I want to take approximately. Thank you, Snow. So yes, eventually we will have a staircase that comes out here, and I'd like to have like a little patio or something, but I'm going to have it meet up with this path. So this path might need to move a little bit. Or I guess we could just sort of cut it through here too. That's another option. Maybe do a different staircase here? I don't know. But for now, this is the plan. And then we could have this sort of connect the path, this staircase, and this hallway here together, so that when I am trying to get from place to place, I can just sort of follow the path. Now, you might also notice that I have modified where our axle comes out. It used to come out here. And I know we're putting an extra bend in, but a single bend shouldn't hurt us too much. Even though it is kind of going down, over, down, and then back. But we can't really do a whole lot about that at the moment, based on the placement of this and where it meets the walls downstairs. I'm pretty sure this is right where the door is for the room over here. But I didn't want the windmill to cover up too much of the greenhouses, and right here I would have needed at least a couple blocks spilling out over into the greenhouse area, and I don't know if that would affect the plants growing in this corner or not. I don't know how the light propagates in this game as well as in certain other block games, so I don't know if that would adversely affect our crops. So I figured, you know what, let's just sidestep that issue entirely. We'll put it kind of here, and this should give us some room if we want to maybe dig out a couple other small rooms, like maybe 4 to 5 block wide rooms, because again, we will have a gentler slope coming up here to meet all of the structures we have here. So we could just leave this blank, or maybe even do like a little porch or patio, maybe an outside rooftop garden. That could be fun. Maybe even a couple, maybe a couple more fruit trees out here could be kind of fun. That would be neat. But that will be a discussion for later once the rest of these are done, and it is notably warmer out. But let's go get our glass, and let's go ahead and build, actually, our greenhouses. We're going to get these built and probably finished today. I'd like to, at least. And then we can start kind of piling a bit of dirt up against them to see how they might look. So let's go get our glass. Okay, glass acquired. we are going to double our glass by turning it into slabs for the most part. Let's leave you alone for the time being. And one of the things I want to do is I definitely want our glass to be, I am thinking 2.5 blocks up. So we will do something like this. And there we go. So we will have ceilings that are 2.5 blocks high. Because we don't really need much room here in the greenhouses. I'm not going to be doing the fruit trees in here because there isn't much of a point to doing fruit trees in greenhouses, at least if you are not farther north than we are. So, yep, trees in the greenhouse here, not super useful. Let's go ahead and get these flattened out, and we'll place these down at the proper height. Okay, there we go. Now we can test these to make sure that these actually work as a greenhouse by putting up some temporary walls and getting a hoe, and we'll just hoe a single square in here, and we'll come back and take a peek at it later. Of course, the hoes are back at the old house because that's where we left them. Oh, the hoe, singular. Thought I had a metal hoe, but I don't. Okay. All right, hoe acquired. Let's hop in here. We're going to just hoe a couple of you guys. And then we are going to fill in these blocks here. Oh, and fall off, of course. So in theory, if we block this off, and we wait a little bit, then these should update to say plus 5 degrees Celsius, assuming we have everything set up correctly. Now you might need to either raise or lower these slabs by 1/2 of a block. But as I recall, we experimented in the last season, and we found out that basically slabs, as long as they're not chiseled, do seem to work in both positions. If I could be remembering incorrectly. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we did have to lower them. I'm going to go check the wiki and find out. Okay, I just checked the wiki real quick, and it looks like I had it backwards. Because we are going to need to have the inside of the block, the inside of a slab, must be what's facing the inside of the greenhouse in order for it to count as a greenhouse. So we need to pop this up. We're going to break all these down. Even faster with these guys. Whoops. There we go. Now, I don't know that I want a 3-block high greenhouse. I prefer not to, but 2 blocks high is just a little weird feeling. I don't like that right over our head, so we're going to not do that. But let's get this in here and see if this changes things. I'll block this off preemptively. And now we might have to wait a little while for this to update. So let's go, and I'm going to probably do a couple minor chores. And we'll come back in a bit. I'm going to pop a door in there, because if we don't, it's never going to really think that it's a greenhouse whenever we come and visit it. Okay, door's in place, so we'll come check this in probably in the morning. Oh, wait. If we look at the upper left-hand corner of the screen, it does say we're in a greenhouse, so these should update at some point. At least I hope that's what that symbol means. I believe it is. Great. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to get the rest of these ceilings in at least. And we'll get these greenhouses started. And I'm going to think about what kind of material I want to use on the interiors. Alright, roof's in place. Let's take a quick peek in here. Yes, plus 5 degrees Celsius from the greenhouse. That is perfect. So, that's good to know. So we officially have a greenhouse with no water, no plants, and we could actually start growing some things in here, like maybe some of the hardier wheats and things, although it is 1st of March, so it might not even need to be that hardy, because in here, although the temperature up here, it says minus 1.4, in here, that would be, what, positive 3.6? So yeah, we could actually be growing things in here right now at this very moment if we had water. And by the way, the place I'm going to put the water is going to be under the walls here. We're going to do basically one in the middle and then 2 blocks away along all the sides of the walls. And then we'll also do 4 right here in the center. And that will cover all the blocks with 75% moisture at all times, with the fewest blocks wasted in here for water. But we will do that in a little bit, I think. Let's go and follow down again. You know what? Let's just go ahead and drop some more hallway here for us to stop that. There we go. Get across now. Let's go and get some materials for the walls and figure out just how we want to make this look. Okay, folks, I think I have the exact materials that I want for our greenhouse. So I'm going to go ahead and start by removing this door, because I think I want to put the doors basically on either end. I want to do 2 doors, and they will go essentially here and there. And we'll do that for all of them. And the reason was I was thinking of putting the doors in the middle, but with the other decorations I want to have, I don't think it would work quite as well. And I also didn't want to pick an end and stick with it, because if I'm coming from this side, I want the doors to be here so I can just get in the corner real quick. But if I'm coming from this side of the house, I don't want to have to go the whole way up to the other end of the greenhouse room to actually get inside. So I think we'll split the difference and call it a day there. Now, for the ground level wall here, I think we're going to go with a mixture of chert brick and chert cobblestone. So we're going to dig these up first, and then we'll get those in. And while we work, let's talk about why I chose this size and shape for our greenhouses. And that's because greenhouses follow the same or similar rules as cellars do. They must be no larger than 7 by 7 by 7. That includes the height, and I believe the 7 includes the farmland, because farmland is not a solid block. So I think you can only have a real interior space of up to 7 by 7 by 6. At least that is what I have been seeing people talk about in the past. That may have changed, or people could be wrong. But I don't typically build giant greenhouses because there isn't a huge need for them. So we have this out here. Let's get our bricks and our cobblestone in. I am also going to bring in some larch logs. I think they would look nice in contrast, along with larch slabs for some of the other walls in these rooms. Now, in addition to the 7 by 7 by 7 rule, you must also have a transparent ceiling, and at least 50% of the ceiling blocks must be transparent. That can be glass, that can be quartz glass, which is a little bit foggier, that can be glacier ice. I don't know if it can be lake ice. I think it can be, and I was thinking about lake ice for the ceiling, but I think I like the nice clear view of the sky a little bit more. Further, it is somewhat sensitive to chisel blocks. The ceiling is more sensitive than the walls, but as long as you don't have like giant holes in your walls, then you can generally use chisel blocks without too much worry. Slabs are fine in walls, whether they are on the inside or outside of the block. It's just the ceiling slabs that are a bit more sensitive. Okay, all of our chert is in. And next up, I want to actually have some windows in between us and our greenhouses, as well as between the individual rooms. Now, the ends don't need windows because they're going to be up against basically dirt over here. But I thought it'd be cool if we could see in and just check on our crops without having to actually go into the rooms to find out how they're doing. So I brought the rest of our glass, and we are going to... Ooh, you know what? I think in between them, we do need to use full blocks just because it'll look a bit better that way. But I think what we can do is probably do a bit of that, and then for these, 15, we can do a bit of this. Now I have another glass slab down in a chest downstairs, so we'll just grab that and finish up the 15th one. And last but not least, number 15 goes in. There we go. Now, for these in-between spots here, I was thinking that some larch could look really nice. Specifically, these nice darker larch logs. So we'll do that there and here, although we're going to need to... So we can drop a bit of dirt right here to place you on. There we go. And here on the ends as well. Now here in these corners, we're not going to see much, but we will possibly see this piece right there because of the glass. Well, I guess this side won't matter as much. This will be butted up against dirt, and there'll be no windows here. So let's just do dirt there, but these two will need to be larch logs here. I said, and here. There we go. Now, I was thinking that we might also want to do some larch logs kind of in the middle here, just to give it some more definition, but now that I'm seeing it, I don't know that we'll need it. Yeah, I'm leaning towards skipping that maybe, actually. Yeah, let's skip that for now, and if we think we need it, we can come back in later and add it then. But next, I want to have some larch slabs, and here we can, if we want to, we can put these on the outside, like so, to give these interior rooms a little bit more texture and definition, and I think we're going to do that. I think that's necessary, just to make it a little less samey. So we'll apparently drop these here. So we'll do that across all of the backs of these rooms. As well as, we guess we will need to touch up these corners after all, because we will see a wee bit of these logs around the larch slabs. There we go, a nice larch stripe there. We still have our greenhouse. This one hasn't updated yet, but that's okay. So yes, confirmed that this does work as a greenhouse. Pretty handy. Now before we put in the second layer of the walls in here, or third layer I suppose this is, I do want to get the roof in so that we have a better idea of how this is all going to look when it's all done. So we're going to put at least the roof on a few of these sides, which would be this side, and that side. And we'll take a look at how it comes out. Not like that. And there we go with a basic bit of roof. So the idea, low hole, is that when this is all done, this roof will help disguise the fact that there's glass up there. And from a distance, we're going to have probably several layers of, say, slanted soil. So kind of like, let's start here, or I should say sloped soil. So from a distance, it's going to look like just a continuation of the grass. Just imagine the grass on the dirt here. Yep, that's right, grass. So yeah, I think that will work out pretty well. And yes, we could have put grass or dirt right here as these blocks, but I didn't want to have soil kind of hanging down into the edges of the glass, because it just looks kind of ugly. So I figured having the sod roof in there would be perfect. That also gives us a chance to consider how this will all look from the inside before we commit to these upper walls here. And I'm thinking that I might just do some more larch slabs here, because I was going to do another layer of chert bricks and cobblestone up here, but I don't like having a 3-block high, full, thin, full sort of pattern, because it looks a little cramped usually. So let's take a look and see how this appears if we just do some more slabs right off the bat. Okay, so there's that. Let's go over to this room and see how it looks with the chert instead, just to get a good idea of the difference here. You know, that's not too bad. I don't mind it. And the nice thing is it would actually give us a place to hang a lantern. You know what? I actually like that better. I didn't think I would, but here we are. And I do. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We will just do another set of rings of the chert combination around here. And that will be the exterior walls of the greenhouses complete. And like that, we now have 3 functional greenhouses. Perfect. Now, do note that you can leave the doors open all you want. It will not affect the greenhouse's performance to leave them open. I, of course, tend not to just because you end up with drifters and rabbits inside. But for now, I think we should go ahead and let's get our water in. And let's also get maybe a lighting solution in. I'm thinking a lantern right up here, right in the center on each of these. And I'm thinking, yes, I'm thinking tin bronze, nice gold touch. For this bit of roof here, I'm thinking it might actually be worth it to maybe use some of the roof ridges for this, or maybe just run some logs across. I'm thinking the logs because we don't have any, and I mean we have none of this aged wood to put here as a buffer, so it would look kind of funny if we put a different wood here. So I'm thinking let's just go ahead and do a log across, and we'll leave the log as the roof for the time being. And since we already have some larch going on, I don't think we can hurt it by using some more larch. So let's go grab some of that. So let's just run these across here like this, like that, and then probably across here as well. We'll drop one more of these, but I'm not sold that this is going to stay here. But for now, it'll do. How's that look from the inside? It's not too noisy, is it? No, it's not bad, actually. It does kind of clash with this over here, but that's okay for now. I might come through once we get our hands on some more aged wood. I might come through and replace this with that and then drop some sod roof ridges on top of that just to sort of even that out. And you know what? You know what? Let's just say it. We're going to do it now. We're not going to do it now because we have no aged wood. I do know where we can get some. It's going to be if we tear apart the translocator rooms that we found and replace those floors with something a bit more mundane. But for now, we will just leave this as it is because these aren't providing anything for the greenhouses except for decoration. Okay, so with all that said, I think it's time for us to get down and get dirty. And let's start putting in some dirt, rather some farmland, into these greenhouses. Okay, so that's the general placement for our water here and our farmland here. So water blocks here will hydrate fully these blocks around them. And then what we're going to do is for along the walls, we're going to dig under here. And the center would be here. We'll do that all around here. And the only unfortunate thing is that we will be able to see a little bit of that water. But that's, I think, okay. It shouldn't look too awful as long as we don't, zoom in on it too much. But all we're going to do is we're going to take out these blocks in there. Oh my. To cover you up, I guess. And they'll come through with our bucket. And just turn all of these into water source blocks. And cover these back up. What we can do here is, I think, we should be able to drop that in. If we take it out, yes, we'll still have water there. So let's just cover these up so that we don't fall in them. And now we can go ahead and till this all we want and farm it. And even now we should be able to plant some of the hardier stuff. I could even plant maybe even flax because the flax will survive up to -5. As long as it doesn't drop to -10 or lower outside, then inside, it'll survive. It might not grow a whole lot, but at least it'll survive. I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of these with some medium fertility soil and get all the water in place, and then we'll look at what we might be able to plant in here right now. And like that, we have 3 complete greenhouses, one with Terra Preta, ready to be planted. Now there are a couple other details we could come in here with, and I might do that in between episodes. One is that we can see these dirt blocks under here. It's a little bit ugly. It's not a huge deal because it kind of matches with the chert pretty well, but it is noticeable if you're looking close. If you are getting your Mary Poppins inspector glasses on and looking really close, yes, you can see that. But aside from that, that isn't a real huge issue. The bigger one is that these water blocks are visible, but we could also slab them. I could also come through and, rather than putting the larch here, I might come through with some chert cobblestone slabs to put on here instead, just to have it be more uniform with the lower portion of the walls being chert rather than larch. But let's go and grab something to plant in here. I am thinking that we have plenty of flax, so let's go ahead and start planting some flax because we're going to need boatloads of it if we're going to get that windmill up and running this year. We can of course chop the grass up with our knife, pick up some more grass on the way, and if we can get 45, I believe, flax seeds planted in the ground here and growing. That's the important part. The growing is the vital bit that keeps this whole thing operational. So there we go. We now have 45 flax planted here, and this will grow at normal speed as long as the exterior temperature is above -5. Now, as long as it doesn't get below -10, our flax, since it can withstand up to -5°C, our flax will continue to thrive in this greenhouse, even though we couldn't plant it outside and expect it to survive very well. Anyway, everyone, I think that's going to about do it for the episode. I hope you enjoyed the adventure in how to build our greenhouses out, as well as how to start thinking about turning this into a proper hill. Spring has sprung, or it will in the next few days, so we'll be getting into some more springtime activities, including adventures. So look forward to maybe leaving the house a little bit more in the next coming episodes. This year, we need to finish up this top floor of our house, and we need to build our windmill. I'd also like to go and explore the Resonance Archives at some point, although that may have to wait until winter. I don't know yet. But there are many, many more things to explore, more features to dive into in Vintage Story, and I hope you'll stick with me for it. As always, my name has been Corazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.